One thing that we do is we start on time so that we can be respectful of your time.
Perfect.
I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out. My name is David Whitehead. I am the president of the Cincinnati branch of the NAACP. We are nonpartisan. Our goal is to make sure that we have an informed community. So when you go out to make your opportunity to use your voice in voting, that you are very informed and you make a decision based upon what things will work best for you and your community. So I want to thank the administration for this opportunity to be here as your moderator. And I want to thank all of the candidates that are present for their willingness to participate in this 2025 voting forum. So the rules of this forum is very simple. The candidates will provide information. You don't necessarily have to like their information, but what we will ask for you is to be respectful. Allow them to give you what they feel is the best thing that they can provide for this community. And you make your assertion as to whether or not they're the best candidate for you. At this time, we have 4 seats open and 1 seat open as the president of council. So there are, as you can see, numerous candidates. So you are going to have to make a choice. And hopefully we can provide you tonight with information for that choice. Each candidate will be given 90 seconds to answer a question. At 30 seconds, they will get a warning to wrap up. At the conclusion of 30 seconds, we will move to the next person. We will go systematically so that everyone has a chance to be first. Everyone will be last. And we will also allow time for questions from the audience. If you have questions, please submit those on the index cards and give it to one of our volunteers that will grab that and bring it over to me. And I'm going to explain, because a lot of times there's a confusion as to why we do it this way. For the sake of fairness, we only want the question. We are not looking for monologues in front of the question. We're not looking for candidate campaigns in front of the question. So if we have you write it down, we can ask the question. And that is why we've done this format. This is my 47th forum. This is not something that I'm new to. And we try and make sure that we have it from a nonpartisan standpoint, because I may know some, I may not know others, but it's not about me. It is about getting the information to you as a community so that you can do the things to improve your living conditions. So with that being said, we'll start off with our forum with 2 minutes as our opening. Each candidate will have 2 minutes as an opening. And we will start off alphabetically. So we will start off with candidate Blackwell, 2 minutes to explain to the community what inspired you to run for office and why they should vote for you.
Hi, my name is Daphne Blackwell. I have been
Please use the mic.
I've been a resident of North College Hill for the past 10 years. And just looking around the community and seeing that there could be a lot more things going on as far as like just bringing the community together. I would like to see more being done with the children in the community, to give them some recreational activities. I've been a school teacher. I've visited in the schools. I just like to see more of the youth in our community enjoying the community. I mean, there's a lot of things that could be done around here as far as businesses, and just seeing things develop more and taking a leadership role in the community to help get that done.
Thank you. Let's see. Candidate Chichester.
Good evening. Welcome, everyone. I am Latanya Chichester, and the reason why I decided to, sort of say, get off the couch, I always work in my community. I've done work for the last 20 years in healthcare, advocacy, workforce development, and I saw things happening in my city that I wasn't proud of, and I wanted to do something about it. So me coming to the front lines was attending the meetings. Since 2015, watching what's going on in our community, learning the process of what happens, what makes our city work, and how legislations and ordinances are passed. And my vision for the city was just to grow our youth activities, our senior activities, and getting our city government to the place where it needs to be, operating in an appropriate space, operating with transparency and trust.
Thank you. Candidate Clear.
Thank you very much. My name is Annalisa Clear, and I am running for council. I've been privileged to call North College Hill my home since 2002. My husband and I raised both of our daughters here. We can't imagine living anywhere else. I do have an MBA in organizational management, and I'm pursuing public administration credentials from NKU. Leadership in public sector and community and economic development. So I'm really excited about that. The reason I want to run for council is believe we have such a strong potential as a community. I've previously served as the recreation director in the community for 3 years. I am currently our neighborhood navigator with Hamilton County Public Health We Thrive program. I'm involved with Motion NCH. I've engaged with multiple community groups. We have so much potential here. And it starts with getting the right people around the table. And I believe I'm the right person to be at the table.
Thank you. Candidate Curitin.
Good evening. My name is Kathy Curitin. I am a proud resident of the city of North College Hill. Before I get started and telling you more about myself, I want to tell you who my stakeholders are. I want to give a special shout out to my husband, my children, my mother, and my sister. These are people who are part of my village. And my North College Hill residents, every one of you who have taken out your time to be here tonight, thank you. I am a full-time accountant. I'm a mother of 7.5-year-old twins, married 18 years. I'm an accountant. I have my bachelor's degree in organizational leadership. I am pursuing my master's degree in business administration from Indiana Wesleyan University. I will be done in October, and I cannot wait. Why am I here? So I have been really active in our community. I served for our Juneteenth planning committee. I currently serve with Motion NCH. I also served on the charter review committee all this year for this city. And I have seen a lot. I've heard a lot. I've watched a lot, and I am not happy with it. And I believe those who live here, those who pay taxes here, those who are invested here, those who are homeowners, and those who are renters deserve fairness. They deserve transparency, they deserve leadership, and they deserve to be able to have council members who will not shun them away if they ask questions about the finances, if they ask questions about certain things happening in the city. We should have a council that is collaborative, that is transparent, and that is fair. And that is why I am running for city council.
Thank you. Candidate Beverly Gaston.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brielle Beverly Gaston, and I have lived in Cincinnati. I was born at Good Samaritan Hospital, and my wonderful parents, who are sitting over here, brought me over to Savannah Avenue, where I was raised for my early elementary years. I remember all of the fun stuff. I remember the yard competition. I remember parades, and I dare say it, I remember my parents enjoying the mayor's ball. And I, if you guys don't know, love capturing the good things that are happening in North College Hill. Yeah, there are some things that can change, but there are some good things that are happening in our city, and I would love to continue to work with our councilmen, our council members who are currently serving, because we are working on great things, and I believe that if you guys elect me, I will continue those good things that we're doing. I too worked on Juneteenth. We started an organization called Morning Movements with Neighbors, where all neighbors get together to meet and stretch and have just a good morning. And I have learned a lot with ordinances and legislation and making things work. I restarted the yard competition, and I am very proud of the small things that we're doing to make North College Hill a great place. So I would love for your vote. And if you guys have additional questions, just let me know.
Thank you. Candidate Jackson.
I am Kangor Jackson. I am running for city council because I believe in North College Hill. I've been a resident here for 27 years. I've raised my children here, and I've participated in a few activities. I have not been as active as others, but I'm here to let you know that I am a transparent person. I believe that we can grow as a community, and I'm basically here because I'm getting older now, and I've noticed a change in this neighborhood that I am just not satisfied with. And with North College Hill being one of the last standing affordable communities, I would like to make it great. And I think that we deserve to live in an affordable community where people can live without worrying about crime. Well, crime is everywhere, but not worrying about neighbors robbing us and just doing different things. So that's all.
Thank you. Candidate Wilson.
Hello, everyone. My name is Victor Wilson. I've been a resident of Hamilton County all my life. All I know is North College Hill, Cincinnati, Lincoln Heights, Millville, Moosewood. I know all of Hamilton County. I know every last place here. This is my life. This is where I grew up at. And I love people. Period. I don't care who you is, whether you like me or you don't like me. I just care about us. We got to learn to treat each other better. And I had an opportunity to step up and be able to present that to the community that we live in by attending council meetings. And as I kept attending the meetings, I became a part of council, and now I am the chair of Recreation and Community Development. And I work diligently with the administration here in North College Hill and the people around us to bring forth what we are looking for, and that's unity.
Thank you. Candidate Zorb.
Thank you. I believe the issue in this year's local election is not about the color of your skin, the dollar amount in your bank account, your religion, or your sexual preference. We, as a city, are beyond and above that stuff. The issue is about whether the city moves forward in a positive direction and starts making intelligent, meaningful, and effective actions to achieve those goals. My name is Mary Jo Zorb, and I am running for city council because my choice is to move North College Hill forward. I am a lifelong resident of NCH. Growing up with my 7 siblings, I grew to love this city and its people. So much so that in 1990, when I had the chance, I chose to stay in NCH and purchased my childhood home on Sundale, where I currently live. I raised my son Justin in this same house as a single parent. I clearly understand the struggles of raising a child, deciding which bills to pay and which bills can be put off until later. I decided that if I was going to remain in the city of NCH, that I wanted to get involved and to move it forward. I ran for council and was elected in 2015, and I am currently serving on city council. I am asking for the privilege to continue serving you as a member of council, and here's why. I heard someone say a while ago that there should be some advantages to living in a small city. I want us together to make our city grow and move forward in the direction and discover these advantages that we all deserve. Some of the things that I would like to progress on are fiscal responsibility, recreational options for the youth, young adults, and our seniors.
Thank you for your answer.
Thank you.
Okay, since we only have one person from that is going to be the candidate for her seat, I am going to give you the opportunity to do your 2-minute opening, candidate Weisselbach. And Whitlisback. Okay.
Yep.
Got all the way through and then got that one. Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's okay.
So if you would like to take your time right now to give the 2-minute opening while we have a very engaged crowd, please do so.
Hi, my name is Susie Whitlisbach, and I have lived in North College Hill for 20 years. I've been married 25 years, and we are now raising, he's 10 years old, but my son Luke is a nonverbal autistic. And one thing he has taught me is to be his voice and to look at the world with open eyes and open arms. And that's what inspired me to come back to council, because I was on council previously when my son was a baby, and I was president pro tem during that time. And I had a lot of experience in filling in for president of council, because at that time, during chronic absenteeism of the president of council, I filled in quite a bit. And so I didn't run after that because of the autism diagnosis for my son. But now we're a little later in life and we're figuring it all out. And so I feel like I can come back and share what I've learned from my son, which is to listen and be the voice for all of our citizens, to show that you can communicate with us and we'll listen. Any which way you can communicate, I'll be there to listen to you. Because that is what's important, to be heard. And I hear you.
Thank you. So, now that we've had the opening introduction to all of our candidates tonight, we're going to go into the question and answer portion of this forum. There are rules in regards to this as well. Once again, it'll be 90 seconds. At 30 seconds, we will have a sign raised to warn you that you need to get towards your conclusion. At the conclusion of that time, it will be time up, and we will ask you to respectfully discontinue speaking, and we will move to the next person for the sake so that everyone has an equal allotted amount of time. The other aspect is if your name is mentioned in someone's statement, then you will have 60 seconds as a rebuttal. At 30 seconds of that 60, we will give you a warning. And at the conclusion of that, time will be up. So with that, we'll move on to our first set of questions. And I want to make sure that the audience knows that with the city council here, that they're responsible for considering, discussing, and voting on ordinances, resolutions, and other legislation, including the annual operating budget and subsequent expense appropriations. So knowing what they do. And please pay attention to each of the answers to make sure they coordinate with what their responsibilities are. So we'll go to the first question, and the first question is in line with some of the things that were mentioned in regards to people wanting to, the reason why they're running for council. And the first question will be for candidate Zor. As we look at the topic of long-standing, of sustainable growth, a few things to consider as factors: lack of housing, skyrocketing costs of market rate units, rent increases, lack of adequate options for residents to move in. What is your plan to reverse the tides of residents moving out and are selecting other neighborhoods?
Thank you for that question. That is a extremely appropriate question for North College Hill. And actually, it was addressed, and City Council has recently voted on and successfully passed the new comprehensive plan. And that comprehensive plan mentioned that we have, within the city of North College Hill, we have right around a 50-50 split of renters versus homeowners. And there's a negative connotation that gets put on renters, but we need to reverse that, and we need to protect our renters. We need to implement a rental license program. And what that will do is that will incentivize the landlords that have code violations to quickly correct that violation in order to maintain their license.
30 seconds.
The renters are often unaware of their rights and license and the rights that they have as a renter. The other aspect of homes in North College Hill is we have also noticed that we have a lot of starter homes, but as you grow, as your family grows, that we no longer have the housing stock to support larger homes. So we need to expand in some of our vacant lots and grow larger houses.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your answer.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll go to candidate Wilson. Same question. Do you need me to repeat it?
No, sir. Just as the chair of Recreation and Community Development here in North College Hill, I have noticed the need for affordable housing amongst our community. And also a need to be able to keep our current residents, whether they're renters or homeowners, here in the community. So it's a lot of open space for North College Hill to take advantage, and we're excited that we did pass the comprehensive plan that allows us to start taking a look at bringing a solution to that problem.
Thank you. Candidate Jackson.
Yes. Same question?
The same question. For the note, everyone will have the same question. If you need me to repeat it, please let me know, because I'll be more than happy to repeat it, but I'll do it this time just because the audience needs to know what the question was. What is your plan to reverse the tides of residents moving out or selecting other neighborhoods?
I think it would be in the best interest for us to form a community that is attractive to appropriate renters. Right now, what I see when I look out in my community is that we have landlords who are not taking care of property, and they attract the wrong type of element. That's what I see. In that, that creates chaos in our community. So what I would like, and that runs out the old neighbors, which a lot of us are getting older, and we don't want to be consumed with all of that. So we're fleeing, we're selling our homes, we're renting them out, and in order to attract neighbors, good neighbors, we have to make changes. We have to make rules for our landlords.
Okay, thank you. You had 30 seconds. When he puts that paper up, you have 30 seconds, and we're asking you to wrap it up in those 30 seconds. But if you're done, we will move on.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So it'll be the same question. And if you do have your cell phone on, please turn it to mute or off so that everyone can hear the candidates and may focus on what their answer is. So candidate Beverly Gaston, same question.
Same question. All righty. I was a part of council when we passed a comprehensive plan, and there are beautiful things in there for new development for our city. A couple of things that I believe would be very beneficial to maintain and retain our residents would be communication. Having adequate information sent out to everyone. Not everyone is on Facebook. I am, but not my grandfather. So having information that is readily available to him so that he knows how to get connected with the senior programs. Councilwoman Zorb had mentioned, and I thought it was beautiful, we need to create FOMO. FOMO, the fear of missing out. So if people don't know that there are activities where you can come together and have a village, then they're going to look elsewhere to find that camaraderie. Having community partnerships with our youth. I am a mother and I have 3 beautiful children, and I have started a North College Hill Youth Volunteer Group where parents are going to get together and figure out how do we work with our children so that our children are safe going to and from school, so that these families have someone to lean on. If you love your neighbors, you will love your city, and you'll stay here and you'll have pride. And that's what I believe will help, in addition to legislation and new ordinances.
Thank you for your answer. Candidate Zorb, your name was mentioned. It wasn't mentioned in a derogatory way, but your name was mentioned in the answer. So you have 60 seconds if you want to respond to it, or we can just move on to the next question.
We can move on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it'll be candidate Curitin.
Thank you, Mr. Whitehead, for that question. Truly, it boils down to 3 things: community, pride, and the future. Now, a few people have mentioned the comprehensive plan. You in the audience may be wondering, what is that? You can find that comprehensive plan on the North College Hill City's website. I encourage you to take a look. That comprehensive plan is a future not just for me, not just for my beautiful children, but for the future of this city. And we have to look forward. We can't just think about what's happening right now. Because we'll be, in 20 years, I'll be 60. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. And there will be other kids and other people who'll be sitting in these very seats. So we need to make sure that we create a plan and a path so that they will have a vision to follow. Community, pride, and the future. Now, I'll tell you this. I love my neighbors. My neighbors are top of the line. I know that if there is anything that's going on in our street, they look out. We look out for each other. And fortunately, North College Hill had an issue earlier this year where there were people going into vehicles and trying to rob them at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. The neighborhood came together and they became a watch for the community to assist our officers who definitely are there on the front line. So it boils down to, again, community, pride, and consider the future. Our decisions that we make today will impact the future of tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for your answer. The next one would be candidate Clear.
Thank you very much. I've actually been looking forward to this question. In a former life, I worked as a fund development coordinator for Working in Neighborhoods. And for those of you who don't know that organization, they're dedicated to homeownership education, financial literacy education. They work with a lot of organizations that support programs to educate homeowners how to take care of your home. They work with lenders. Anyway, I had a lot of preconceived notions about housing and low to middle income housing in particular. And my eyes were opened. And there are so many resources out there. Now, to answer the question, what could I, as a council person, do? I would be happy to support well-developed legislation that would probably mimic something like a block grant funding program that would not only provide funding for resources to assist homeowners so they could stay in their homes, maintain their homes, but also volunteers. Those organizations have volunteers, they provide materials. I would be happy to support that sort of legislation to create a fund or create a program for that. Lastly, I agree with the business licensing. I worked in the rental registration for the city when we had a staffing shortage. I managed that for the 2024 cycle. Licensing, it is a business and it needs to be licensed. It not only prevents bad actor landlords, but it sends a message that we are operating with discipline so we can attract good landlords.
Thank you. All right. Chichester, same question.
Thank you. I just want to reiterate. The question is about housing in North College Hill.
The question is, what is your plan to reverse the tides of residents moving out and are selecting other neighborhoods? But it was referenced based upon the lack of housing, the increased rent rate, and the affordability.
Absolutely. So North College Hill does and still remains one of the most affordable, livable for the medium income of families. Helping your neighbor, knowing your neighbor is all great, but if your neighbors are not able to pay their bills, in effect, are risking disconnect notices, we need programs to help people, programs to help our seniors who are living in these homes, or Hamilton County home property tax rates have doubled. So we need programs to assist people to maintain and be able to keep their homes. We've had Habitat for Humanity have homes in our new homes that have come to our community recently, working with those programs so people can become first-time home buyers. And as a council person who sits here and who was affected by someone trying to break into my car in my driveway on camera, crime, working with the police and working with your neighbors and creating those citizens on patrol, making our neighborhoods safer, working with the schools to create better school districts for our children. As a parent who all 3 of her children have attended North College Hill, I was the parent who was there every day, every program, every activity, teen mom, everything, making sure my children as well as other children in the community were safe and were cared for.
Thank you. Candidate Blackwell.
Before the affordable housing, as everyone stated, North College Hill is, pretty much an affordable neighborhood, and I would like to see it stay that way. Having heard of some of the issues with landlords, I am aware of some residents that had rental properties through Vinebrook Homes, which everybody knows that was a terrible rental company. If we could keep predators like Vinebrook Homes out of our neighborhoods and, impose property fines on landlords or that are rental properties that aren't keeping up their property. So just having people come together to know that this kind of thing is going on and not just hearing about it in the city. It goes on right here in North College Hill. When you look at the statistics of people that own homes versus those that are renting homes, we have far more renters, but we still need to do something to keep those renters here because it is affordable, even though it seems on the high end for the quality of the property that we have here. It's worth it to be able to be in a community like North College Hill.
Thank you for your answer. I'll allow you to go if you want to go.
Sure, I'd love to go.
Okay.
Thank you. So, do you mind restating the question, sir? I
So
apologize.
I will restate the question because it was a kind of a while before I got to it. So the question is, what is your plan to reverse the tide of residents moving out and or selecting other neighborhoods? And it is in reference to the lack of affordable housing, the lack of lower rate units or units that people can afford.
Well, one thing that I would do is a lot of times first-time homeowners, sometimes they're in over their heads. They've spent their life in apartments, and then all of a sudden now they have a house. And they're going, oh my gosh, I have to mow my lawn? Oh my gosh, I have to keep up with painting my garage? And then they have problems, and they don't know who to turn to. So one thing I would do is but make available classes to first-time homeowners to, number one, know where to pay your property taxes, how to pay your property taxes and when it's due, what to do if your furnace breaks down in the middle of winter. So just have some available information. So if somebody has a problem, they can call the city and they'll be ready with, what can I do to help you? I want to keep you here. What can I do to help you? Okay, here are some numbers we have available. Also, too, by helping the first-time homeowners, their neighbors that have to deal with, oh gosh, they didn't mow their grass. Now I'm going to move because there's a blight. If we solve one, we solve it all. Also, too, if we make where we change our stance of not just being starter homes, because I hear that a lot from the city, we're starter homes. We are forever homes. We come here like Miss Zorb bought her family home to come back here. That's what we need to do.
Thank you. It's kind of difficult because you want to talk to the audience and
Sorry,
and then
I was
I'm not
quiet.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in general because you're facing me and we're talking and you want to talk directly to the audience because it's important that they hear you, not necessarily me. I'm listening, but it's important that they hear you. And then the time's up over here. So, I mean, if you like, I can start saying 30 seconds, but I don't want to distract you from your message because your message is more important than me saying 30 seconds. That's why we're trying to just put it up.
Mr. Mosby can just wave.
Yeah. So
There we go.
So I want to make sure the audience knows because it was mentioned that they, someone was prepared or waiting for this answer, this question to be asked. We did send out questions in advance to all of the candidates. None of those questions are being asked. Those are questions that we were looking for them to be able to give more information about them that we would put on social media so that you can go back and look at a different time. So the questions that are being asked today have nothing to do with the questions whether categories are the same, but the questions are different. So if there's any prepared answers, they're prepared wrong. So with that note, we're going to go, and I heard it mentioned many times, the comprehensive plan. And I ask you to make sure you go online and look at the comprehensive plan that has been mentioned several times. And with that being said, I want to go into the next question. How do you ensure developers are required to include affordable and income-based contracts for housing? And that first question will be to candidate Beverly Gaston.
Okay. Well, what I would do is just work with my peers on council and making sure that we have legislation that states that they are required to do so. Making sure that developers that come into our community are developers who are well-known and their work is good, so that when it's time to start new developments, it's quality work. And that's all that I have for that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next candidate is candidate Curidan.
Thank you so much for that question. So one thing that we need to make sure of is that each of us are asking for your vote so that we can serve you. We want to make sure that you all have a seat at the table, not behind us, but with us. That's so important. And I feel as if we can definitely, I know that we can definitely improve on that as a city. I think also we have to include the fact that we don't want to give someone a contract based off of the special interest or pre-existing relationships. We want to make sure that we get the most bang for our bite. We want to make sure that transparency is the foundation of trust. We want to make sure that things that are happening in this city, the taxpayers have a voice and that they have a say. I, as Kathy Curidan, desiring to serve you on City Council, do not want to be the sole desired answer for that. I want to hear from citizens. I want your input. I want your feedback. And when we have that transparency and when we have that collaboration, then we can move forward in making sure that we have the right people serving us and partnering with us, and we can bring more businesses like Duncan to North College Hill.
Thank you. Candidate Chichester.
How would I ensure developers coming to our community are including affordable housing? That is through zoning, development, contracts and agreements, making sure they have the best interest for North College Hill when they come to build in North College Hill. And they understand what our community needs and what is important to our residents as well. Thank you.
Okay, candidate Blackwell.
Yes. So how would I make sure, by working with the developers along with our city administrators, the zoning, as Ms. Chichester said, and so that we can get those things worked out and make sure that they are in the contracts prior to building.
Thank you, candidate Jackson. I'm sorry. Hold on, candidate Jackson. I'm sorry. Candidate Chichester, you were mentioned, but it was not in a derogatory manner. Do you wish to have a rebuttal?
Nope, we can move on.
Thank you. Candidate Jackson.
Okay. I'm going to ask you this a lot, but can you read the question again?
No problem. So the question is, how will you ensure that the developers are required to include affordable and income-based contracts?
Affordable income-based contracts. Okay. First, I would meet with council, of course, consult with the community, and also try to make our area as attractive to those developers as possible, meaning that we would kind of supervise the businesses that we have here and make sure that they're maintaining their property so that the developers can come in and actually build and make it more attractive for the city. That's all I got.
Thank you. Candidate Zorb.
Thank you for that question. So I think that that's a multifaceted answer. It comes to mind. First of all, I think the Planning Commission would be a huge partner for council to work with to make sure that the zoning is to make sure that the developers abide by the zoning, but first, to make sure that the zoning code has been rewritten. I know the Planning Commission has reached out to Hamilton County to, in order to get a free service that the Hamilton County is offering to get our zoning code rewritten and brought up to date, because it's extremely antiquated. And then council generally has to partner with Planning Commission to make sure that, because that is Planning Commission's expertise. So we need to partner with Planning Commission to make sure that we all, that we all see it the same way. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Claire.
Thank you. I won't beat the comprehensive plan up anymore. I think we're all well aware that there's some pretty awesome recommendations. We worked with some experts to put that together. I was actually at the tail end, part of the committee that helped work with some of that those experts. There is a wealth of knowledge in our community in Hamilton County. People have done this before. To ensure that developers are including affordable, well, that too, but and income-based considerations for housing, I believe we need to reach out to those experts, especially since North College Hill does not currently have like a housing staff person, that's their job. So we need to lean on resources, especially free ones, that they won't just come in here and swoop in and make a bunch of changes, right? And what council's responsibility is to ensure that our zoning code is up to date. Again, there's been some positive recommendations for that. And also that, our zoning code hasn't been, the last, I'm struggling here, but the last update that I saw on the website was 2014, I want to say. And housing, especially mixed-use development, offers a lot of those opportunities. And right now, our zoning code doesn't support that, and I think it should.
Thank you. All right, so candidate Wilson.
Yes. The answer to that question is basically working with the committees that we have, council have, recreation community development, to go out and ensure that we're bringing the quality developers to the city administration, or the city administration does have the information to the quality developers that will come in and actually give us the service that we need without trying to go into the government's pocket for 80 to 50,000 years. Like, these developers have to come in and make sure that they're considering the residents that live here, the current residents that are struggling with housing. So we want to make sure that that development is not pushing them to the side and bringing in more struggling individuals. So that's how we answer that problem.
Thank you. Do me one favor, because I am not going to mess up your last name again. Can you pronounce your last name one more time for me?
Sure. Witless Bach.
Witless Bach. Okay, got it.
It's okay. I'm used to spelling it when people ask me what my last name is.
I didn't want to call you Susie. So.
You can call me Susie. It's fine.
Well, thank you. So that same question, how will you ensure developers are required to include affordable and income-based contracts in housing?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about your question is that we ensure, when I think contractors and low-income housing, I want to protect the low-income people that we are trying to attract. One thing to make sure that we're attracting that is to make sure we're not getting slumlords that take advantage of low-income families that feel like they have no other choices. And a lot of times you also have to be careful of flippers who come in and they get a house that maybe somebody lived in until they were 97 years old. We could all wish that. And they died, and then a flipper took it for very little on the market, and then it got put to a slum landlord who's going to then rent it to a low-income family that, like I said, that has no choices. So as a city, I think we need to protect and make sure that we are making sure that we are in communications with other cities that also keep track of flippers that are of bad repute and slumlords to protect our low-income families that would be a benefit to our community.
Thank you. I'm going to stay with you because I've been
Sure.
having you go last. I'm going to stay with you this time. But here's the question, and this has been mentioned many times in regards to the reference to affordable housing and income-based housing, and there's been a lot of reference to low income.
Mm-hmm.
Low income does not necessarily generate the revenue that the city needs in order to be sustainable. There is a mixture of making sure you have affordable housing and affordable things without paying the consequences of not having a tax base. There's been recent moves within this council and within this city of a need to recognize the lack of tax filing. There's 4,000 people that had not filed their taxes. So that's revenue that's not been generated for the benefit of the city. Now, they may have paid their taxes, but there was 4,000 that was showing, according to your meeting notes, which I read, 4,000 that haven't done it. So the premise for that question and the basis of that is staying with the economic issues concerning the residents. What is your stance on the regional tax authority subpoena fees?
So here, from what I understand about RETA, let's just call it what it is RETA, is a lot of our residents have problems with RETA with getting hold of a real person and to be able to communicate with them. And so there's a communication disconnect between our residents and the regional tax agency. And so now they're talking about doing subpoenable, trying to get their money in any which way they can because they're the government, they deserve it. They're collecting for the state of Ohio and for our county. Is we need to improve our communication between RETA and our residents and that is maybe being the liaison as the city, saying, hey, Miss Appleton, you have a problem? You're confused about what you owe RETA? Let me help you. Here is our connection to RETA, and they'll help you figure it out. And if we start there, maybe we won't even have to get to the end result that you state, sir.
Thank you. Candidate Clear.
Could you repeat the question, please?
The question is, what is your stance on the regional tax authority subpoena fees?
On the subpoena fees?
Yes.
Okay. I believe it's important to clarify that's not like a subpoena to court. It's a different process, just in case people don't understand what that is. So my stance on the RETA subpoena fees, they have to pay their own people as well for their own administrative costs. So I don't think those fees are going to go out. But what we can do is create improve our circumstances so that those fees become unnecessary. And part of that is the improved communication, and part of that also is I mentioned that I had helped with the rental registration processes in the past. That is a huge gap also with income coming into the city. And we currently at the time I was managing that program, we didn't have a very efficient way of tracking down which landlords had reported their tenants to RETA and which ones had not. So improving that process would help tremendously. Right before I left my position, we had explored implementing software that would help improve that process and make it easier, to report that information to RETA, which would thereby reduce some of those fees and the necessary, that become necessary. That's one huge aspect. And my time's almost up, so I will conclude.
Thank you. Candidate Jackson.
Thank you for that question. Now, you mentioned that there were 4,000 people who had not filed taxes. A part of that problem, it is my belief that people are not educated about RETA. They move into the community. There is no education regarding how they pay taxes. The city of North College Hill does not take taxes out of an individual's check like other communities. If you're in Mariemont, you get taxes taken out of your check regardless. If you're working in Mariemont or you, and if you don't live there, we don't do that. And then they let all these taxes build up, and then people have a lot of back taxes. So I would begin with educating people on how the tax process works in North College Hill.
Thank you. Candidate Blackwell.
Yes, I believe that it would definitely be to the residents' benefits to be educated on RETA, because I haven't heard a lot of information on that myself. I have looked it up on the website, and I have acknowledged that it do exist, but yes, more education, definitely.
Thank you. Candidate Curidan.
So I was at that council meeting when it was announced by our finance manager that there were 4,000 residents in this city of 9,000 who had not filed their taxes. And I immediately thought to myself, did they not file their taxes because they're running, or did they not file their taxes because they did not know? And I think a very easy, simplistic, and collaborative way that we could solve that is to have an all things North College Hill. When people move into the city, whether you own or whether you rent, they should be able to stop at our city center to get an all-inclusive guide that includes a number to the police non-emergency, late night yummy pizza, and RETA, because a lot of people did not know. I did not know until my tax accountant said, you have to file this. Great. Thank God for him, because he knew. But how many people move here, purchase here, and they don't know the rules of engagement? So I think it's important that we have people in place that can have an all-inclusive guide to all things North College Hill, including RETA. I bet you if we were to implement that, that number will diminish very, very quickly.
Thank you. Candidate Zorb.
Thank you very much. So the question was, do I support that legislation? And I absolutely do support that legislation from the premise of, as was mentioned, our finance director informed us that there were 4,000 people that had not paid taxes. I mean, and that is a significant loss of revenue, or potential loss in revenue, that should be gotten back to the city. As far as the subpoena fees, it's my understanding that the city is actually paying that $1 in the subpoena fee to RETA in order to go and use and get the subpoenas filed within the court. So I absolutely support that $1 fee, because I feel like that's a valuable return on our investment if it's a $1 fee. But another trend that I've heard mentioned is communication. It comes down to, did those 4,000 people know that they were supposed to file or not? Are they trying to skirt the system and not pay, or did they just legitimately not know? So part of that comes down to communication. And I think part of that might even be solved by, we have initiated a new welcome basket that council has been delivering to new residents. And that information is in the welcome basket.
Thank you. Candidate Wilson.
Yes. So I support the legislation for the dollar charge for the subpoenas that allows us, North College Hill, to be able to get the revenue back that we're supposed to, allows us to be able to get them subpoenas out to the individuals that didn't pay. At the end of the day, we were missing a lot of revenue because them individuals were not aware, and we were actually having to foot a larger bill for that, for them subpoenas. I think we were actually missing out on the revenue from that because we were not the ones issuing the subpoena, but the county was. So I do 100% support that dollar charge.
Okay. Candidate Beverly Gaston.
All right. Piggybacking off everyone else, I do agree and I do support the subpoena charge. What it does a couple of things. It sets a standard. People get the information. They see, oh, I made a mistake. And it just helps keep things a little more organized so that people are aware that this is something they have to do. But it boils down to education. I was one of the individuals on council that helped put together the welcome baskets. Not only did they get information about RITA, but they got the mayor's newsletter, and they have information on how to contact people in the city to get the information. I'm very passionate about getting information out to people. I work diligently with council to make sure that we are getting that information out. So the welcome baskets are important. Even if we give out welcome packets, we're tracking how many new homeowners come into our city so that they are made aware of what is necessary for them when it comes to filing their taxes, where their garbage is picked up, so on and so forth. So to conclude, I do support it, and I'm working diligently to make sure everyone is educated on what to do with RITA.
Okay, candidate Chichester.
Yes. So I just want to be clear. This is a administrative subpoena. So it's just basically a stern notice to say, hey, you've missed this. You need to take care of this. The government is going to make sure you pay penalties if you don't take care of this. So yes, I am in support of this. Everyone should pay and file their taxes, whether you're a business or whether you're a citizen in North College Hill. So what has been in the past, I think another person mentioned that sometimes other employers don't take out our local tax. My employer does. You go to your human resources department and you let them know our school district code, and you can find that on the IRS tax website, and your employer can start to take those taxes out. Or you can wait until you file at the end of the year. Some of us do. If you're 1099, you can then let the tax person filing your taxes know that, hey, I need to pay my city tax. Also, I think we had legislation to help non-filers with fees. I will have to go back and make sure I reiterate if I'm remembering this correctly. And everyone, will get that notice. You file those taxes. The welcome baskets that came out, the Recreation Committee were a great thing, the entity to let everyone know and educate everyone. Hey, this is what our city does as far as taxes. Thank you, Mr. Mose.
Thank you. All right. So I just want to note that it's not necessarily the citizens' fault of what they don't know.
Yeah.
The other factor is there has been many of shops of tax preparers that have been sued for not filing city taxes. City taxes are a lot different than filing the state and the federal tax. Many of those shop places will prepare the taxes and forget about the city. So we just want to make sure that there's not a lot of people fleeing necessarily. There are some, but not most of them is just because they just didn't know. And I appreciate all the answers that supported making sure that people are informed, because an informed community is an empowered community.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll continue. One last financial question, and then we'll go into the fun part, our teens. So, maintaining a valuable public safety team, fire and police, being that you have an award-winning fire department here. What is your concept or strategy based on the current financial conditions to support fire and safety? And we'll start the question with Ms. Chichester.
Yes.
I'm sorry, candidate Chichester. First time tonight.
Public safety is a big issue for any community, especially our fire department, which is award-winning. I've had to call them before, and they've responded with courtesy and respect for my neighbors. And helping them financially is what our city does. I'm trying to remember the percentage. I think they're 20% of our general fund, if I remember correctly, from the fire department. They actually have also a system where they collect the fees from their emergency ambulance runs and help sustain them, maintain their department that way. They're also out there, forward-facing in the community. They give out smoke detectors. They don't just fight fires. They help install car seats. You can make appointments to do that with them. I meet and talk with the chief all the time. I'm always asking him, what do you need? What can I help with? Or welcoming those guys as they're coming on to our fire department. And we're hiring right now, too. If you want to become a firefighter, please reach out to our department. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Zorb.
Thank you, sir. I strongly support the fire department and the police department in North College Hill. They are an incredible asset to this city. The police, I confess, I monitor the city website to watch the fire runs to see if it's going to anyone's house that I know that I need to get to engage. I do watch that on our city's website. As far as the financial part, the fire department has a 12%, a 12 mil levy on the ballot, and the police have a 5.4 mil levy that I believe just passed last year. And the fire levy was put on the ballot just to support a full-time fire department. We historically we had volunteer firemen, then we went to part-time, and now we have a very strong full-time fire department. And I believe, I'm going to chime in, I believe our fire department and police department are both hiring. So if there's any potential candidates, please apply. I believe the applications are online.
Thank you. Candidate Wilson.
Yes, I support fire and police by asking all the voters when come November, please get out there and support their levy. It will be on the ballot, and I just ask y'all to go out and support it.
Thank you. Candidate Curidan.
I fully, unequivocally support our police and fire. In fact, as it's already been mentioned, there is a levy this year, and we need to make sure that our fire levy is renewed. I am so excited that we have the mutual aid with Springfield Township, Mount Healthy, and other neighboring communities, because it's not just about North College Hill. It's about, if I have an emergency at my home, I need to make sure that I have a very good first responder who can assist, and the best way we do that is by supporting the fire levy for North College Hill. I also believe that it's important to identify what can I do as your city council representative. So I'm going to take it back for just a moment. I mentioned previously that earlier this summer, we had a rash of break-ins. I think it was one night, these kids hit like 10 streets in the city. That following council meeting, I brought it to our council, our city administrator, and our police chief. I said, let's go ahead and start Citizens on Patrol. That was my recommendation. And that is a very, very low-cost option where we can have citizens who are able to be trained by our police department in partnership, because I will never be a cop, but in partnership to be eyes and ears for our community. We all live here, some of us work here, and it is important that we are invested here, and that Citizens on Patrol is an idea that can be implemented at a very, very low cost. So it's important that
Thank
we
you.
keep our partnership with North College Hill Police and Fire. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Candidate Blackwell.
Yes, I definitely support the police department and the fire department, so I would like for each and every one of you to vote in November to support the levies for them. They are great people, and we definitely need them. We do not want an emergency to come, and we don't have anyone to respond. However, I would not have Citizens on Patrol because some citizens may take it a little bit too far. I would do neighborhood street watch, your neighbor, my neighbor, and we just kind of look out for each other.
Thank you. Candidate Wetlisbach.
So, can you restate the question, sir?
Okay, so the question was in regards to public safety, and it was, what is your strategy with the current financial conditions to support fire and safety?
The first thing I would do is to make sure that our fire and safety personnel have the correct tools and that their tools work. And that means making sure that everything is on a maintenance schedule. So that means our fire hydrants are scheduled to be looked at to make sure that they are working. You don't want to be in the middle where your house is on fire and maybe your closest fire hydrant is not working. Also, too, if you notice, our ambulance that we currently have for North College Hill says Mount Healthy on the side of it. We are right now dependent on our generosity from a neighboring town, Mount Healthy, because our two ambulances, one was in a wreck and one is broke down. Thank goodness for Mount Healthy being generous enough to give us a loaner. But reality is, we need to be on a maintenance schedule. Can't prevent wrecks. I wish we could. But where things break down, we need to catch that beforehand so that we're not caught unawares and unable to provide services. That's it.
Thank you. Candidate Clear.
Thank you. The strategy that I would use to support fire and safety, and I'm assuming that means police as well, is to fund them first. That is my strategy. I listen to meeting after meeting after meeting where they're begging for money for their staff. And if we cannot afford to fully staff police and fire, then we can't afford other projects and things that have nothing to do with public safety and supporting the infrastructure and the basic needs of our community. That is my opinion. Fund them first. And then the other thing we've mentioned several times, revenue. I don't think that's an expense issue. I think it's a revenue issue. A lot of these other communities that have been mentioned have well-developed business districts that are providing jobs, that provide income tax for the city. And that is all part of it. It's all part of it. You know, it's a revenue issue, not in addition to it being an expense issue. It's the only reason it's an expense issue is because it's a revenue issue. And to offset that, we need to be investing, we need to be supporting our businesses, we need to be doing everything we can to stabilize the revenue stream for this city and make sure that it's adequate and that it's appropriate to support what we need in order to keep our city safe.
Thank you. Candidate Beverly Gaskin.
Thank you for your question. First, I want to say that I support the fire and police wholeheartedly. And I also would just like to put a pub out there that the former lieutenant is a family member of mine. So I come from family who are police and fire. When it comes to supporting our fire and police, we have to make sure the general fund is healthy so that we can pay, just like Ms. Clear stated, working alongside with them to make sure they have the resources they need. For example, I'm not sure if the residents are aware, but here recently, we got a new fire engine. And let me tell you what's really cool about this one. When you are on a dead-end street, a cul-de-sac, when you hook up to the fire hose, it comes from the back. Or the fire hydrants, I'm sorry, it comes from the back. So that way they can get to the emergency quickly. So that was something that the police and fire were excited about. It was on display at our Fall Fest. So making sure everybody has working equipment to make sure that public safety is maintained. I support educating the neighbors and residents of North College Hill on the fire levy so that we can get those things passed and make sure everyone is doing what they're supposed to do.
Thank you. Candidate Jackson.
Thank you. So I definitely support the police department and the fire department. They are very important to the community. So I would encourage every resident to pass the levy. Second, I would like to see our rapport with our firefighters and police officers like it was in the past. There was a time in North College Hill when the community knew every police officer by name. You could speak to the firefighters and you knew them by name. Now, there's so many officers. I think that we need to have a day where our firefighters and police officers can have an opportunity to meet the community and develop a rapport with us so that we can develop those relationships. I also support them working in good conditions and also allocating funds so that they can keep up with the latest technologies to prepare us in medical emergencies.
Thank you. All right, so before I go into the next category of teen issues, I want to get to some of the questions that have been asked by the audience. And actually, some of them are some of the things that we already had on the plate, but I'll go ahead from the audience standpoint. Being that there are committees that are utilized by the council, and then you also have community involvement, different aspects of community involvement with the council. There's a question that comes from the audience. How will each of you make the community before specifically comfortable? No, I'm sorry. Wrong question. Give me 1 second. I have to find the one that was related to community involvement. Okay, yeah, here it is. How do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process of our city? And we will start with candidate Curtin.
Thank you, because that's one of my favorite questions, and that's really why I've decided to run for council. I feel, as I know, as a citizen, and this is not to put anyone in any position, but I've come to council meetings and I've felt left out. I felt like an outsider versus being someone who they would like to hear from, whether it was something they wanted to hear or not. And that's really not the way that we want our citizens to feel. We want them to feel as if they have anything to say about our city, that they are not just heard, but they are received with love. I also feel as if it is important that we don't forget those who have invested their time, their talents, and their energy. I have, as I've mentioned, I was a part of the Juneteenth planning and execution of the Juneteenth event. I served for the Charter Review Committee. I am helping with Motion NCH, and just most recently with the things that were happening at the high school, I'm working with the superintendent on that. So I am boots on the ground for North College Hill. And I know that there are some people who may be in certain leadership positions, but it's important that if I have a neighbor and say, hey, Kathy, I would love to help you do this, that I say, hey, let's partner together, let's collaborate together. So 1 is good, but 2 is even better.
Thank you. Next question goes to candidate Jackson.
Same question, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So how would I engage the community? First of all, when we have these city council meetings, I think it would be better for us to speak to the community when they're in the audience. What I see currently is that the city council sits up here, they talk amongst each other, and that's it. There's no opportunity for the citizens to speak. So I first employ them to engage in these meetings. Secondly, I would involve them by saying, hey, express your feelings on the website. There are complaints. I mean, you can write your concerns. There's things set up on the website. Come to the meetings. Get involved in the activities around here. Volunteer. Also, I would like to develop like a community garden and employ like the volunteers here in the senior citizen building to take care of it and give vegetables to the neighbors in the community.
Thank you. Next is candidate Clear.
Thank you. Let's see here. Try to frame my answer. Engaging the community, that is something that is absolutely dear to my heart. An engaged community is a strong community. And one of the ways that I have always loved doing that is through volunteerism, through intentionally engaging and involving our citizens whenever I was working to plan city special events. In fact, the Fall Festival last year, we engaged some of the high school youth, and we had 25 or 30 volunteers from the high school. It starts when they're young. You know, you get them engaged, you get them involved, you get them interested. I always send out a survey after events to volunteers and vendors. They loved that. They loved it. They loved it. They're like, I can't wait to do this again next year. And that, you have to start young. And then the other way is also to listen to people as well. As been mentioned a few times. Some of the things that I've done is I've watched other community city council meetings and township meetings, and one of the first things that's on their agenda is hearing from the citizens. It's not last. It's not buried in the middle of the agenda. It is first. Their citizens come first. And any concerns that they have are mentioned first. And that gives council the opportunity during that meeting to address those issues directly and in a way that is
Thank you.
validating to the citizens who've asked.
Thank you. The next is candidate Gaston.
Alrighty, thank you for your question. Can you repeat it just one more time so I can ensure that I answer it?
Okay, I sure can. So how do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process in our city?
Alrighty. Anybody that knows Brielle, especially everyone that's sitting up here, knows that I first and foremost want to hear from the citizens. Doing a survey, doing a town hall meeting, and informing those that there is a council meeting. Just like with Rita, where we mentioned earlier, not everybody knows when we have council meetings. So letting people know that, hey, there's a council meeting on this date, come, and allowing people to speak to us before, during, and after meetings, allowing people to know how to submit requests, questions, or grievances on the website, but just making sure that people's voices are heard. What I like to do is I go door to door, I canvass, I knock on doors, and I ask people, what is it that you would like to see? And they give their feedback, I write it down, and then I go back and try to help address it with my peers. Just making sure that council is approachable and that people know that they can come to us and that we are available to them because we represent the city. And so that's what I would do to continue the engagement.
Thank you. Candidate Blackwell.
Thank you. As far as getting, excuse me, the citizens involved, definitely go door to door. I spent a lot of time. I went out and collected each and every one of my signatures. I met quite a few residents and was very impressed with what they had to say, encouraged them to come to community council meetings and let their voice be heard. And I will bring it back to city council and make sure that it's heard if they can't make it.
Thank you. Candidate Wilson.
Yes. As council member here in North College Hill, there are very many opportunities for the citizens to be engaged and be involved in some of the decision makings. The purpose of council is because the citizens elected us to make these decisions for you guys. And we take in the information that you guys have, you know, stuff that concerns y'all. And we have to take all of this in and we have to put it into a basket that fits North College Hill. So it's not, we're never out there not listening to anyone. It's not that we don't have opportunities, because if you come to my committee meeting, you will have an opportunity to speak when I give it to you. That's after the committee speaks. They speak first, and then, you know, the citizens get a chance to speak. So there are opportunities for all citizens to engage and give us advice when it comes to making decisions for North College Hill.
Thank you. The next would be candidate Chichester.
Yes. So how do I engage the community? if anyone knows me, that if you walk up to me, we're going to be here for another 30 minutes having a conversation. I engage people wherever we are, whether I'm at the grocery store or walking my dogs or anything people need. If they reach out to me via Facebook, via Messenger, I don't make things public. If you're looking for a job, food pantry, help with resources, I'm always that person, that go-to person. If I can't do it, I will find someone that can help you, and that's how I engage my community. And another thing, I am chair of the Budget and Finance Committee meetings, and people are a little frustrated I don't allow the audience to speak, and this is my time to address it. We have a packed agenda. There's a lot of things going on with the finances, and people want to hear about it and want that update. But I always welcome and let it be known. You can reach out to me via email, call the city. We will answer the questions, and 9 times out of 10, I post those questions or I address those questions at the next meeting. Did I say time up or 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
Okay, thank you. So citizens can be heard at meetings. Come to those meetings. They're the first and third Mondays of every month at 7 p.m. Committee meetings start at 6 p.m. on the second Monday of every month. If there's something you need to do or want to address, reach out to me. I had a young lady come reach out to me recently about her brother that was killed in Springfield Township Park. I wasn't the correct, that's the time. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, candidate Zor.
Thank you. I really feel like we need to own this because I think you're right. I think we fall down a lot on the communications aspect of what we're up here for. If you've been around, you know there was a lot of hubbub with the fire department. I think a lot of lack of trust stemmed from that. There are a lot of citizens that do not trust the government in little old North College Hill now. And that, we need to own that. We need to fix that. I think part of the way to fix that is in the transparency, in communication. We have to make sure that we don't lie, we don't give false hope, we don't sugarcoat the problem, and we don't use so many words that it's confusing to the people and they don't understand it, because not everyone understands politics and the laws around it, and you shouldn't have to. But I firmly believe that we should set expectations, and people can deal with what they know. So we need to make sure that the people know what's really going on, and be transparent about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Candidate Wetlisbeck.
Do you mind restating, sir?
Yes, no problem. It is one of the questions from our concerned citizens. So how do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process in our city?
First off, it starts in this room. During our council meetings, the first thing that I noticed when sitting in the audience is that council is not facing the audience. We should be sitting this way and looking you, our citizens, straight in the face, because you are coming to council with questions and concerns that deal with your day-to-day lives. You should be looking at us, and we should be answering you by looking you straight in the face. That's our role and our obligation is to you. My second thing is that my father, thank goodness he doesn't know how to use the computer, or he would be mad at me for mentioning him, but he is 90 years old. And he is always telling me, Susie, please help me fix my phone, because I don't know how to turn it up or turn it down. And there is a lot of residents in our city that may not know how to use electronic media as well as everyone else. So we need to maximize our paper ways of getting to people to make sure everyone is involved. Lastly, if we need to make a big decision and we need to have a public hearing or a town hall, we need to make sure that we have it before any decisions are made. We need to have it, and we need to advertise it every which way, even if it's a plane going overhead with a sign trailing behind it. We need to make sure that everyone knows what's going on before anything happens.
Thank you. I really don't know who asked that question. It was provided to us, but I just want to share one of the questions that was going to come up. Civic engagement and transparency is essential for good governance. How do you plan to involve residents in decision-making process and ensure transparency in city council proceedings? That was a question that was planned to be asked. And I want to thank whoever posed this question from the community, because you are right on point with what good governance is. And make sure you go back and look at this and listen to what the answers were, because your concern should always be first and be addressed by your council. So just want to make that point. The other couple of questions are dealing around public safety. There seems to be some concern in regards to the community about enforcement of traffic violations, as well as the curfews potentially for the youth. I know in 2014, North College Hill implemented a curfew for those that were under the age of 14. City of Cincinnati just implemented a curfew for those a little bit older. So with that question being in place and off the recent publicly displayed incident of a fight in this community where there were adults involved encouraging youth to fight, what is your plan or strategy to curb the teen violence? And then the second question is, what do you plan to do to implement enforcement of traffic violations, knowing that you're still short a police officer? So it's a two-part question, because most of that was asked in here in regards to code enforcement. So I'll make sure I answer. What I'll do is I'll ask the one first in regards to the teens, and then we'll go back to the law enforcement and enforcing the important codes. So let's see, who do I have up? Got to get to my chart. All right, so the first person is candidate Wilson. What is your plan to curb the issues that we're having surrounding our youth?
So the goal for city and community development for North College Hill is to provide more recreational programs for adults and youth alike. If we can get more programs that will get our kids into structural environments, more gyms, more exercise rooms, more art rooms, music rooms, libraries, like whatever program we can provide for our youth that will curb the time that they have to hang out on the streets and do negative activity.
Thank you. Same question for candidate Zorb.
I was hoping I wasn't next.
Just had flowed.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know that I have an answer to this one.
Fair.
I live in the IT world. I don't live in any of the arenas that could help this. I don't. I think I would have to reach out to the people that this would be their expertise, because I apologize, it's just not mine.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your answer. Candidate Chichester.
Yes. So, as a mom of 3 and a bonus mom of 2, teens are a difficult species and have been and always will be. Parents can't do it alone. We need our community. We need our schools. Ms. Gaston's reached out via Facebook and decided to organize some volunteers, and I immediately joined up. My children are adults now, but how can I help? How can I assist? I reached out to Mr. Deron Hunter, who works at the Community Partner Center, and he will be coming to that meeting as well and assisting with us, reaching out to the experts who've dealt with this problem before. who can tell us what worked and what didn't work in their community. Volunteering, trash pickup, Mr. Wilson does it, is not, a pastime that can help with punishment. As a parent, one of my children were in trouble in school and they were gonna get detention, sit in a room quietly after school. That's a reward. No, give her a safety vest, give her a pickup stick, give her a bucket, get her some gloves, and let's help her take pride in her school. Those are things we need to get back to, talking and mentoring. Our children endure a lot more negative, more violence, more social media things than we've ever had to do. So this is new age situation, new age.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Mr.
It's kind of difficult because you're trying to talk to the community, so we get that. So thank you. Candidate Westleback.
So first off, when it comes to teen crime, I know the story about the children that were in a fight after school and that the superintendent saw it from his window. He can't do it alone. He stated that on the news, and I fully support that. We as a community, if we see something happening, we have to be part of the community and try to help. Because if we just turn our backs and go back inside our houses, then it's just going to get worse. We have to be involved and be involved with our youth, be involved with our children, know where our children are. If you're working late, know where your kid is at home. I'm constantly calling home like, what's Luke doing? How's Luke doing? So, and I look forward to the day that he's a teenager. But one thing I liked that Ms. Zorb said was also depending and reaching out to our experts that deal with our children every day. Is that
That's
time?
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
I just think we need to support each other, get to know our kids, get to know other people's kids, because we're all one community, every one of us. That's all I got.
Thank you. Candidate Zorb, your name was mentioned, not in a derogatory manner, but it was mentioned in the response. Would you like time to rebuttal?
No, thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Mine was mentioned too. Offer me that.
Oh, did I miss yours? I'm sorry. Candidate Wilson, your name was mentioned. I'm not sure if it was a derogatory manner, but it was, I don't know. I'm sorry. I missed that part. Would you like to respond?
Yes, I would like to respond.
You have 60 seconds,
60
sir.
seconds just to ensure, just to let the residents know that North College Hill is focused on curbing this behavior. It's unacceptable. We don't appreciate it. It's nothing that I'm sure these parents are approving for their kids to go out and do. These children are children. It's no book to raising them, but it is a book to being a community.
Thank you. Candidate Gaston.
Thank you. I appreciate the comment earlier that said getting in contact with those who are well versed in this. And it is a goal of mine and Councilmember Chichester to bring those people who are versed in this to the table. It takes a village. We need programs that they're interested in, and not programs that they're not interested in. And so you're gonna ask me, well, how do you do that? You survey your community. You talk with the teens, you ask them what it is that they're looking for so that they can be engaged in things that they want to be engaged in. Community service, so they have pride in their community. Inviting them via Facebook, paper, phone blast to activities that are being sponsored by the city so that they can get to know who their citizens are, not the citizens, their council members are, so that when they need help and they need mentorship, they know who to go to. And making sure that there's a good relationship with police and fire.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Council candidate Chichester, your name was mentioned, not in a derogatory manner, but it was mentioned. So if you have 60 seconds, if you so choose.
In the spirit of time, I'm going to waive that right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Candidate Clear.
Thank you. Teen crime. I'm going to quickly find a story, remember a story. When I was first hired as recreation director, one of the things I started going through was some of the file cabinets, because there was all kinds of recreational programming and projects and things that had been going on in the city before. But one of the things that I had seen that had happened was, I guess it was maybe the mid or late 80s, there was a grant that had been received to renovate the North Creek trails, and they made them beautiful and they made them gorgeous, and 2 weeks later the kids tore them up. So this is not new, is what I'm trying to say. So what we need to do, how many of us had after school jobs? You know, how many after school jobs are available in North College Hill? So that's one avenue. Again, economic development. Give them a job to do. Give them something to do where they're earning their own money. You know, that keeps them out of trouble. Civic engagement opportunities. I mentioned volunteering for events. When we had one of our city cleanup days, a project we offered the kids was helping with mulch. The entire high school track team came and helped and put mulch down in Veterans Park. When kids are involved in things like that, when the youth are involved, they don't let their friends tear it up because they had a hand in that, right? So the last thing I had mentioned was when I was serving on the Recreation Commission, one of the ideas that I had was, why is there no youth commissioners on the Recreation Commission? Now, unfortunately, we just had a charter review. We can't touch the charter again for 5 years, but keep that in the back of your mind. That's an idea. Get them involved in the government.
Thank you. Candidate Blackwell.
Yes, thank you. So I am and have been a youth at-risk mentor for pretty much all my life. I've worked in the schools, in the severe behavior handicap classes. I am a provider for individuals with disabilities as well as mental illness. So I would say, as my expertise, that keeping our youth involved, finding employment to keep them busy and off the streets, and holding parents accountable for children under 16 being out in the streets past curfew times, and also getting more mentors. The girls group is a great idea. I would definitely like to be a part of that. I do everything with kids. I work at school all day. I was rushing to get here from school. So that's what I live for, our youth.
Candidate Jackson.
Thank you. How will we curb teen violence? First of all, I believe that we should initiate a 5-day school week that will keep kids off of the street. Secondly, I think we need to hold parents more responsible for their child and initiate a no-tolerance policy. I was a witness to the aftermath of the fight last week, where this was, I guess, the second half of it, where a young man was walking down the street and the parents said, "Get him." And her 3 sons ran after him to jump this young man. Just so happened the police was coming down the street. But that is the mentality of a parent. So we need to hold them more responsible. And what people understand is losing money. So I think we need to initiate a plan and make them more accountable.
Thank you. Candidate Curitin.
Listen, I hear the initiatives, I hear the insights, but I am a boots on the ground, let's get to work. So for the past 5 days, I have met with the school board president, I have met with Dr. Blaylock. In fact, I received an email from Mr. Whitehead from the NAACP, from Dr. Blaylock, who are asking for us to come. And so what we have in place, we have 2 meetings coming up, one on Friday for the community. We want to hear from the parents, the school teachers, the administrators, and the students. What are your concerns and how can we best serve you? I can't give you something if I don't know what you need. So we need to hear from you. Secondly, we have a meeting on Sunday at the church on Simpson. And this meeting will have police officers, and attorneys, because sometimes these youth have a fear and they resort to violence and crime because they don't understand. That fear is embedded in them. Why? For various reasons. So we want these young people to come to the table, have conversations with our police officers, have conversations with our attorneys, have conversations with youth leaders and advocates for North College Hill. And so it's important that we not just talk the talk, but we walk the walk.
Thank you. Okay, before we get into our closing, because everyone will get 90 seconds in which to tell you why you should vote for them, we're going to ask one last question. And the question is just going to be framed as a yes or no. And it's a very easy yes or no. Well, not necessarily easy, but yes or no is the answer. The Metro is looking to put a bus terminal in North College Hill. Are you in favor or opposed? That's either yes or no. And we will start with candidate Jackson.
Definitely a yes. I can recall when the Metro bus
We
on.
just yes or no.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yes or no. This is the one time yes or no. You can
All right,
edit it. We the reason why we're going into the close, because I want to make sure that you have time as constituents to talk to your council members before the close of this night. So we're just going into a yes or no. And the same question is going to be for candidate Curitan.
Yes.
Okay, candidate Clear.
Yes.
Candidate Gaston.
Yes.
Candidate Wilson.
Yes.
Candidate Zorb.
I would need more information before I could say yes or no.
Okay. We'll take that as abstain at this point in time, because I don't have any more information. I just know they want to put a bus terminal out here and give people access to work. I think that's what they're looking for. Candidate Chichester.
Yes.
Candidate Wetleybach.
Yes.
All right. So thank you very much for the answer to that. And we will move forward towards the conclusion. So we'll have, I am so sorry. I apologize, candidate Blackwell. You put your name tag down. No, I'm just joking. No, you're fine. You're fine.
But yes, I would definitely
Yes.
support that.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. But you know what the amazing part is? As we've rotated around, we are back to your names. So, candidate Blackwell, as we close, please in 90 seconds, tell the community why they should vote for you.
I believe you all should vote for me because I am for your youth. I am the teacher, I am a parent, and I am an advocate for all youth. I have won great grown-up awards from many organizations around, Beach Acres, St. Joseph Orphanage. I am a foster parent, and I believe in our youth, and I want to do something about what's going on in this community for our youth.
Okay, thanks. Hold for 1 second. I think someone needs an important call. Oh, it's yours? Okay. We'll give you a second. Thank you. Okay, so as we do it alphabetically, which we started, candidate Chichester.
Yes. Why you should vote for me. Unless I've answered your questions and you've met with me and I've answered them and you understand what I stand for, then you should vote for me. Don't vote for me just because your friends know me. Don't vote for me just because you like my last name. Vote for me because you know what I'm going to do for you as a citizen of North College Hill. As a mother, as a wife, I've lived here a long time. I put all my children through North College Hill. My youngest was the first graduating class to start from preschool to graduate 12th grade in North College Hill schools, new school districts. My children attended Clover Nook when it was in session, open. I am going to bring transparency, trust, advocacy. And if you know me, you know me for the last 25 years. All I do is advocate for my community and for people who are in need. I was trying to read this. Did I say 30? That's at 30. Okay. So, with that being said, meet with me, speak with me, reach out to me. I am chair of the Budget and Finance Committee here in North College Hill. That means I am tasked with the responsibility of watching our finances and making sure our administration, our government, our community is doing what's right in the best interest for you and best interest for our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Candidate Clear.
Thank you. My closing remarks. I brought a picture with me of a seedling. I wanted a real seedling, but they're hard to come by in August. I am running for city council, or the picture of the seedling, when I brought it, it represents hope. It's a promise. There's some beautiful things to come. I am running for city council quite simply because I believe there is still hope for beautiful things to come for North College Hill. We have a strong potential as a community. I've listened to our citizens, our business owners and volunteers. Our community shares this hope, but what we don't have is a lot of faith or trust or confidence that we can get there. But this must change, and it starts with council, and it starts with city and community leaders modeling the way. Every individual seated at council must see beyond the short-term politics and make decisions that reflect forward-focused, real, sustainable progress for the long-term success of our city. Every individual seated at the council table must embrace and encourage citizen engagement. Every individual seated at the council table must feel empowered to affirm or dissent or abstain as they see fit. It takes an extraordinary amount of time and effort. If it takes an extraordinary amount of time and effort to persuade council to accept legislation, it's time to go back to the drawing board. In closing, these types of shifts and changes in the way we do business will take hard work, but I have hope we can get there. I've served in leadership roles in multiple organizations that have faced very similar challenges. I had a seat at the table when it happened. I want a seat at this table.
Thank you. Candidate Curitin.
Thank you so much. It has been an absolute honor to be here with each of you, with our panel, our city administrator, our mayor, and those who are running on the ballot. I want to introduce you all to Pastor Craig B. Edwards. Google the name. My daddy was a forerunner in this city. I lost my dad in 2003, and for the 52 years that he served in this city of Cincinnati, he has poured so much into me that now at age 42, I can take every principle, every value, every strength, and every courage that he has poured into me to now give to each of you. I am asking for your vote. I am asking not just for your vote, I'm asking for your partnership. I am asking that you will trust me, that I will not just be up here and talking at you, but I will talk to you and with you. If you see me at Dunkin' or come by my house, literally, I tell people, if my blinds are open, I'm home. So knock on that door, and people have. I want our community to feel inviting, and I want to make sure that not only we stay here and make false promises, but that we really, truly do what's best. Because my daddy, Pastor Craig B. Edwards, in the years that he served, he did that very same thing, and I want to carry that very same mantle.
Thank you. All right, Candidate Gaston.
All righty. My name is Brielle Beverly Gaston, and I am asking for your vote. I brought with me a camera. My grandfather had an old school camera, and I loved looking through his lens just to see how I can capture what was all around me. Just like a camera, a council member must focus on what matters most, zoom in on the details while keeping the big picture in mind, and make sure every resident's story is captured. Our community deserves leadership that brings North College Hill into focus with balance, clarity, and vision. A wise man asked, "What do we want to be when we grow up?" If we look back on our photo albums and we see how awesome we were and how great we are today, we can continue moving forward to being an awesome community. And I am running to make sure that the programs that we have and had continue to be here for all of our residents, citizens alike, our seniors, our youth, and everybody in between. So if you see me out with my camera, get your yard together, because your yard may be next. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Jackson.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I am running for city council because I love this community. I would like your vote because I love this community. I am compassionate about bringing forth a change in our community, and I'd like to see it done sooner than the 2040 proposed plan that was introduced to us in 2024. Because here I am at 54. I don't know if I'll be here in 24, or I'll be too old to really enjoy it. I'd like to let you know that I will advocate to the end of time for anyone here. I am who I am. Who you see is who I am. Okay, I'm very transparent. I don't change. And so I would like for you to recognize the true person that I am, okay? And thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you. Jackson candidate Wetnesbach.
I'm asking for your vote because I want to be your voice. Whether you have questions about how your government is run, if you are having problems with people cutting through your backyard, or you're just not able to hear city council because you might be hard of hearing, I will listen to you and I will make sure that you are heard, and I will bring it to council and follow it through to the end. Also, if I have the privilege of serving as president of council, I 100% promise you that I will make sure this council is run with respect and complete admiration for each other and for you, the citizens. That's an absolute promise, because that's what you deserve.
Thank you. Candidate Wilson.
Yes. Voters, I am asking you guys to vote me back in to council so that I can continue the hard work that this recreation, city community development has been working on. We have been able to bring 3 different events to North College Hill's calendar date. We actually have been getting more volunteer opportunities out there for North College Hill. Working with the current council is an amazing experience. I mean, I have an up and downs, but I can deal with it. Being that I was awarded to the state of Ohio as a youth at the age of 13, I've been out on my own in the community learning how to be a citizen. And the first thing I want to bring at this seat is citizenship, and making sure that every decision that's made by North College Hill Council is in the best interest of the citizens of North College Hill.
Thank you. Candidate Zorb.
Thank you. I know when you asked the Metro question, it was a yes or no. So I'm going to take this time to add a little bit more information to that. So the reason I abstained from that is because when Metro was here and provided a presentation for us, there was an underlying tone that it may cost the city a substantial amount of money. So without knowing what that amount of money is and knowing if our budget can sustain that amount of money, I can't blindly commit to the Metro that we would support that the budget can support it. So that's why I abstained from that. I won't make a blind financial commitment without additional detail. So aside of that, I come to you tonight, and I speak from the heart when I say, if you haven't gathered that, I stumble on my words a lot. I speak from my heart. We need to do better. We need to listen more, and we need to stand up for each other. Because when we embrace our differences, we don't just build a better world, we build a more human one. My knowledge, history, and experience are an asset to this city and to the new members on council, because I confidently provide continuity, context, and perspective. I can help bridge the past with the future so that the decisions are informed, balanced, and rooted.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, first and foremost, before we close, I want to thank you as an audience for coming out, spending your time to be informed voters. Make sure that you're checking your voting registration, because if you've moved since the last time you voted, you will need to update that. There have been mistakes where people have been purged, so please go on the Board of Election site and make sure that your voter registration is valid. If you need help, there are plenty of people that can help you, either at the library or in different places. So please give this candidate panel a round of applause. They took their time out. I thank all of them for coming. Please give your city administrator as well as your former city administrator a round of applause for the help that they were able to do. And our video personnel, our mayor, and those that were able to help volunteer tonight. My name, once again, is David Whitehead. I am the president of the Cincinnati branch of the NAACP. And when you call us, we don't ask you what you look like, what you're distinguished, what you believe in or anything. We just ask you, how can we help you? So it is important to make sure as a community that we learn how to come together. We work better together than apart. So if we all start creating a culture where we believe in each other, then we can show that to and model that to our kids. And that's how we can curb the violence and the destruction that is happening within our communities. We need to make sure that we can not only sit together, but we can stand together. Amen. And I want to thank you for your time and have a wonderful night.